All right. I'd like to welcome everybody to this afternoon's town board meeting, Monday, July 10th, 2023. I have the invocation today, and what I wanted to just reflect on was something that I found to be extremely moving as a community endeavor, although it wasn't maybe meant to be a community endeavor at first. So I think many of you probably know last year the Amherst family unfortunately lost Lauren Taggart, daughter of Marty Taggart. And Marty's the admin for the front end and the council members and the supervisor's office. And it was a very difficult, obviously, scenario for the family and for the friends, but something that was, I think, truly inspiring to me and witnessing it was a week ago. It was invited to come participate at it's not a service, but a dedication held over at the Village of Williamsville's Gateway Park, or the Pocket Park. And the Pocket Park was a park that was designed by the village back when I was still on the board to offset driveway next to the library. And the idea was to take that strip of asphalt and turn it into a space for community and a space for people, rather than a mostly dormant asphalt drive slip. And the Village Beautification Committee, which is a group of volunteers in the Village of Williamsville, takes care of that facility. It's almost 100% volunteer-based, all the plantings, everything that you see in terms of coordination there. And that a couple Fridays ago, they dedicated what will be a new trellis and clematis planting in memory of Lauren. And what was striking to me is the activities of a group of volunteers, coupled with an outpouring of support for the family and friends by members of the community, really goes to show how impactful our public places and parks can be. And that was something that, gave everybody in the audience a chance to observe, not only the dedication, but the commitment level of the volunteers who take care of that park, and then the reciprocating investment of attention and participatory help from those who knew Lauren. It was a wonderful opportunity to show how this community comes together and how this community celebrates people and families and place. And I'm so proud of Marty for how well she has helped other people in the community deal with this. So I just wanted to share that. If you get a chance to go over to the Pocket Park, it's a beautiful place, and the clematis planting specifically is the most recent addition and a wonderful gesture. That was it. That's what I wanted to share. I'd ask everybody to please stand now for a Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd ask our town clerk to please call the roll.
Okay. Supervisor Copa,
Here.
Deputy Supervisor Buckeye,
Here.
Councilmember Berger,
Here.
Councilmember Lavin,
Present.
and Councilmember Zucala.
Here.
Next item on the agenda is the approval of minutes from Tuesday, June 20th, 2023. A motion to adopt those as they appeared in our agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And Councilmember Lavin has a recognition.
Yes, Supervisor, thank you very much. So about 2 weeks ago, the Amherst Central Little League, we were fortunate enough to recognize Nick individual by the name of Dennis Hennessy. He has been part of the Amherst Central Little League, first as a player in the 1950s, then he was on the board in the 80s, was a groundskeeper, and now a coach. So he has, I'm just gonna bring up this picture here. He has been part of the Amherst Central Little League almost since its inception. So I wanted to take a moment to recognize, he was presented with a proclamation at the end of the year, at the end of the season. They got a field named after him. But this is somebody who's absolutely dedicated and committed hours, months, even years of time to public service and to helping our community with Little League and baseball. And I wanted him to get the recognition he deserves. And that's his picture with him and his family. The dedication, I think that was 3 years ago. But, yep, so we were finally able to recognize him as a town at the ceremony a week ago and again this evening. So thank you very much.
Sean and I both coach T-ball in that league together, and it's a big commitment. And we have kids that play on that team, and he volunteers at the T-ball level. So
I have known Dennis for over 30 years.
I was gonna say, you go all the way back to when, yeah, that's,
Yeah.
all right. Thank you, Sean, and we have no public hearings this afternoon, and no personal appointments. The first item on our agenda then is public expression. I'm gonna motion to open public expression at this time.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
There's a list.
Okay. You'll get it? I didn't notice anyone sign.
I'm just gonna ask you to restate your name and address.
Turn the microphone towards you. Thank you.
Hello.
I don't know why it was facing nobody.
It's
All right. Can you all hear me?
yeah, I gotta speak up a little bit.
Okay. My name is Cynthia Frame-Endress.
You need to look at us so we can hear you. Sorry, but we
Thanks.
can if you look the other way.
Good point, good point. I need the direction. As a homeowner on Tonawanda Creek Road in East Amherst, and one who has enjoyed the former Amherst Museum, presently the Buffalo Niagara Heritage Village, I would like to express my deep disapproval of the proposed plans to relocate this formerly friendly cultural treasure. The reasons for relocating the museum make no sense. However, it does make sense that the board, which has been overdeveloping the town of Amherst, is interested in taking over that parcel on Tonawanda Creek and new roads for yet more overdevelopment that the community will not be able to stop. What is the end game for the town of Amherst? To permanently change its rural and natural environments in favor of apartments, condominiums, and houses? The plaintive cries of environmentalists are so often mowed down by eager developers as natural wildlife and habitats are ignored. And yet, as we all cry in sorrow to see our natural environments obliterated, the town of Amherst carries on. I've witnessed how the town of Amherst finesses arguments that appear to be in favor of the residents, but actually is favoring developers. Recall how the Stop Young's Road from Going Through campaign was actually created by the developers who went against what local residents wanted. Recall how years of holding back the development next to the 990 and Campbell Boulevard because of wetlands preservation concerns were changed overnight in favor of developing numerous large homes. Yet I stand here as a community member wishing my voice to be heard and my concerns recognized. I do not believe the Buffalo Niagara Heritage Village should be moved from its current location, and I especially do not want the town of Amherst overdeveloping into another natural rural area. Thank you very much for listening.
Okay, thank you. Anybody have anything further?
Do I need to write my name on this one?
No, go ahead. Just state your name and address for the record, please.
All right. My name is Sam Smith. I live at 60 Fruhoff. I have two separate things, but one of them is kind of piggybacking off of that. I'm not trying to talk about a specific project. I'm trying to talk specifically about when something was rezoned and we went to the rezoning, we were told for individual projects, you can't look at, from a town board perspective, you can't create zoning for every specific parcel. You have to create a generalization, and then the planning board looks at each individual site and rules. And I wanted to express that was what was told to the people, and then what the planning board then put through, specifically for our project. I'm not looking to talk specifically about the project, but then what was said was, well, this follows town code. And there was no agreement about it fitting in with the area. So I want to just express, similar to what she just said, when people have concerns, what happens with rezoning, and then telling the people it will be looked at on an individual basis, but then in regards to when it goes to the planning board then saying, this meets town code, that's two different messages. And people are, in general, throughout Amherst, angry about that. And how does that message get conveyed to people so that their thoughts and concerns are addressed while a full understanding of what's being expressed happening? So that's just one item, and then I have another item.
Okay.
It looked like you had something to say.
Nope, go ahead.
So my other item is I have been submitting, I know myself and other people have been submitting to the building department, the parcel of land between Fruhoff and Chateau about the degradation of the building. And I have some photos to show, specifically planks of wood that are hanging down. And there's, over the last couple of months, we've been putting these through, and nothing has been done, and I am curious who to contact. So I'm going to give these photos to you. So this is not in regards to the project itself. This is just in regards to safety. If you look at those photos, there's literally chunks of wood with nails sticking out of them, hanging down over the sidewalk. There's chunks of wood that are falling down from the second-story building with, again, nails sticking out of them. They're kind of stuck in the building now, and it's a safety issue. I've been reporting it, and I know other neighbors have, to the building department, and we have not seen a change, along with over 6 inches of peeling paint throughout. So I was curious what the next step is in trying to address.
So our building commissioner's here, so we'll figure out a path forward. But
Okay.
I was on, yeah, so I don't know, you have a record of the complaints, and we'll clock these photos in as a communication. Okay?
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Here's somebody, I don't
Today's date, 10th.
Nope.
know. No,
Okay, yep, come on, go forward.
there's somebody.
Do I need to sign in?
Yeah,
No.
no, go ahead. Just state your name and address for the record again, please.
I'm Christina Coyle Lenz, and I'm at 64 East Chateau Terrace. And I'm here to ask, and so this is a question, based upon the March 24th meeting at Park School of Buffalo, when neighborhood traffic concerns were to be addressed, where are we with that, if I may?
Last board meeting, we adopted a charter to move forward with the study on the project, on the overall conditions.
I'm sorry, on which,
We move forward with the charter and are commissioning the study that needs to happen in terms of all the circulation.
which section? Because I'm very specifically here about Chateau.
Okay, well, it includes Chateau, Fruhoff, and Harlem. It includes all the roads off of Main Streets, the whole corridor.
Okay. May I remind you of a conversation we had?
You can, go ahead, you can tell me, you can remind me of
No,
what
no,
you specifically.
This is okay. I want to be constructive
Okay.
because I appreciate the chance for us to have this conversation. So going back to June 2021, it was stated in the Amherst Bee, they quoted you, that the Park School does not have a curb cut onto Chateau Terrace, and they're not supposed to be using that for pickup and drop-off. This is the time of year this needs to be studied. It's like now, because when the street was being paved, they were directing, Park School, they were directing their pickups to dump right onto Chateau onto a closed street.
We are doing the study now. That's what we adopted last meeting. So
So
it's
it's
an
a s-
ongoing process.
So it's a study, so for now, we're just kind of dealing with all
We
this.
have to figure out the data
She's
sets.
talking about our paving of the road,
Oh, our,
the town paving
paving of the
of
road.
Chateau.
Yes, and I'm talking about that in the context of obliviousness, if you will, or unaware, maybe just
you're
unaware.
saying of closing, of gating the Park School off, yes.
You talked about that.
So, right, so ultimately, any gating has to go through our highway department. I have no issues with gating, however, some of your neighbors have an issue with gating. So it doesn't seem to be uniform consensus on Chateau about gating.
Okay.
So at the
think-
moment, we're gonna need to figure out what the actual consensus is.
I think there is consensus around them not, you stated there's no curb cut, so they shouldn't be using it for pickup and drop-off. And they're
Understood.
using that back driveway
I get it.
as actively as they do the Harlem Road driveway.
As I've said, when we approached gating it, we've gotten a lot of calls back the other way saying we don't want to gate it because people on Chateau also cut through the Park School.
Maybe some do. It's not the
I
right thing to do.
understand. I'm just, it's not as black and white, so
Well, and I'm not sure the park likes people cutting through.
I don't know that they do.
I don't think they do, based upon a conversation. So,
Hence why we said, okay, we're going to figure this out using a consultant.
okay, all right, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Hi, Lisa Dirtle, 92 Chateau Terrace. I am right on the main drag. We are in a house that is a little closer to the park end, but it's almost in the middle of the block between Chateau North and South. We're on the west side, so we're right on the side where traffic drives by coming from north to south. With what I've been seeing and experiencing every day with Park School's day camp in session for 6 weeks and then another 2 weeks of specialty camps, it's not going away, but we need some resolution immediately to address this. And I know we discussed this at length and in detail. That emergency vehicle egress access is the problem, but I would like you to consider some interim resolutions that may not be so, vehemently opposed by some of the neighbors. I would like you to consider putting a number of the rumble strips in and speed bumps. It's not going to work unless there are enough of them in there. We don't have to slow neighbor traffic down. If we have neighbors who are going 50 miles an hour, and it slows them down, that's great. I think as a start, that might be a better solution right now. Right now, I know it's real touchy because Park School, I've been there over 30 years, Park School says we want to, no, we need that access for day camp and whatnot, and we can't keep our people, or we can't keep parents, all we can do is make an announcement. I've heard that a million times. And I think the trade-off is, but you guys like to, park in that parking lot, or the neighbors are now parking, not just parking in there, but using it as a cut-through. And you know, I know it's just been push-pull all this time. Well, it is an emergency vehicle egress. And I believe it does need to be closed off, but I'm just looking for a compromise, and maybe we can try something out in the interim before we really have a bad accident. I've had a few close calls. It's greatly exacerbated now. Friday, we couldn't back out of the driveway for 2 minutes. Traffic was at a standstill because they were backed up all the way from Main Street, and I'm going to assume they were backed up, I'm going to say 12, 14 houses. As people were whipping around the corner, headed up to Main, whipping around that Chateau North corner widely. I mean, just literally whipping through 2 stop signs now, coming from Park, whipping around the corner, and then stepping on the gas only to find that traffic was backed up. It's a mess. It's really a mess. I'm afraid for the kids. We have kids all over. We have kids who go to and from Park School, and they walk up Chateau every day to get the public bus. There are a lot of kids who take public transportation. Yeah, I'm just looking for a solution, and I would love to at least start with some kind of traffic calming method. I understand the study's going to take time, but thanks for listening.
So we have used speed humps, or are using speed humps on Westfield, thank you. On Westfield currently, that's our first pilot program with those. There is also something called a speed table, which is a raised intersection. Willing to look at either, Mike, if you could bring those up to traffic and safety. Okay. But we can look at those options. Traffic calming measures seem like they would be.
The configuration of the street
Right.
is a traffic calming measure
It's
as
just-
well.
Well, it's
You need to keep that in mind, and I can tell you I've had conversations. Chris has done speed studies on that street. I don't know the results off the top of my head, and Chris isn't here, but we should look into that info as well.
We have an induced load over there though at the moment with the camp, so it makes sense. It's again one of these, and the push pull is one of the issues with the gate, but it doesn't need to be with regards to something like this. So
I would just I would strongly encourage doing something more agreeable to everybody first and see how that goes. And then, I mean, that'll give you enough time to do the studies needed. And please don't do them again when school isn't in session. They're really not reflective of reality. They aren't. We have a serious problem here, and we've had it a long time. So thank you. Thank you very much.
okay. Okay. Anybody else?
Bob Dirtle, 92 Chateau Terrace. On the Park School issue, I was out there this morning on Park School, Chateau East, sitting right before North. There's 3 stop signs here. There's one on East, there's one on North, and then there's one coming out of the Park School parking lot. In a half hour, I think I saw 3 people completely stop. I saw people blowing right through it. This is a school zone. All right, you got another school in Bornhava. Why aren't there school zone signs around this area?
That's a good question, and we can certainly look at school zones, but in the meantime, I'm going to ask Amherst Police. I don't see anybody from police here.
Yeah,
I'm going to ask Amherst Police to sit there some of these weekday mornings. So
I tried taping it, but my phone only went for like a minute and a half. So, but I mean, I stopped. One guy went through, and I stopped him. I said, "What are you doing? You just ran a stop sign." And they look at you like, "Huh?" I mean, it's ridiculous.
okay, well, I'm going to ask them to spend some mornings and afternoons over there, and we'll go from there. In the meantime, we'll refer the the school zone will have to go to traffic and safety, but that's something we could look at. I know in the village, we took some of the areas around parks and schools down to 25 miles an hour, which we could do of right, and if we could reduce it to 20, it might even be better. But I'll look into that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anybody else?
Not again, no.
Is it about the school zone? Just, okay,
They have discussed it with me, and I brought it to traffic safety a couple years ago. No, you have to come to
Yeah,
the
back up to the
microphone. We can't let people
I
speak
agree.
twice in the same
I'm gonna
session.
make one exception because of the school zone item.
It's only the school zone item, so
Okay.
if you look at Chateau, from the fact that your previous statement was there's no curb cut,
Yeah.
there's no reason to have a school zone if they're not supposed to be using that driveway.
Well, that's part of the dilemma
So-
you end up with trying to put a school zone in place. School zone can be anywhere where pedestrians are likely to enter school property, though, so that would be included.
Entering the school property in a way that is not sanctioned. So the other thing
No,
you,
but pedestrian activity is included in school zone-related
Can
items,
we
so.
just refer this, please?
Yeah,
and not
school zones
make
have to go
any
to traffic and safety,
decisions
so we'll
now?
do that.
okay, and the one interim thing you did say you would do was put up a gate, a temporary barrier.
I got it, but we had a lot of people criticize that, so understood.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Yep, thank you. Okay. Anybody else? Seeing none, I'm going to move to close public expression.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is Council Member Buckeye's resolution.
No, it's,
Oh, sorry.
It's
Oh,
mine.
Jackie
Sorry,
Berger.
I'm sorry. Councilmember Berger's resolution on fire investigation software.
The fire inspectors want to purchase the Blaze Stack Fire Investigation Software so that they can properly document and record fire investigations. So they're asking for up to $3,300 from the Avoidable Alarm Fund, the T-Fund, for the purchase of the software. And I so move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is Resolution 587, Highway Vehicles and Equipment 15-year PPU bond resolution in the amount of $900,000. I'm going to first motion the resolution and the bond resolution as it appeared.
Second.
And on the question, I would ask our town clerk for a voice vote, please.
Supervisor Copa,
Yes.
Deputy Supervisor Buckeye,
Yes.
Councilmember Berger,
Yes.
Councilmember Lavin, and Councilmember Zakala.
Next item on the agenda is Resolution 588, Playground Safety Equipment and Surface Improvements, a bond resolution in the amount of $250,000. I'm going to first motion to adopt the seeker findings associated with the project.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next, I'll motion the bond resolution as it appears.
Second.
And I would ask our town clerk for a voice vote, please.
Supervisor Copa,
Yes.
Deputy Supervisor Buckeye,
Yes.
Councilmember Berger,
Yes.
Councilmember Lavin, and Councilmember Zakala.
Resolution 589 is Central Amherst Little League Ball Field Lighting Improvements, bond resolution in the amount of $250,000. I'm going to first motion to adopt the negative declaration and seeker associated with the project.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next, I'll motion the bond resolution as presented.
Second.
And I would ask our town clerk for a voice vote, please.
Supervisor Copa,
Yes.
Deputy Supervisor Buckeye,
Yes.
Councilmember Berger,
Yes.
Councilmember Lavin, and Councilmember Zakala.
Resolution 590 is a highway vehicles and equipment 5-year PPU bond resolution in the amount of $100,000. I'm going to motion the resolution as it appeared.
Second.
And I would ask our town clerk for a voice vote, please.
Supervisor Copa,
Yes.
Deputy Supervisor Buckeye,
Yes.
Councilmember Berger,
Yes.
Councilmember Lavin, and Councilmember Zakala.
Resolution 591 is townwide curbing replacements, a bond resolution in the amount of $50,000. I'm going to first motion to adopt the seeker findings associated with the project.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next, I'll motion the bond resolution as it appeared.
Second.
I would ask our town clerk for a voice vote, please.
Supervisor Coppa,
Yes.
Deputy Supervisor Buckeye,
Yes.
Councilmember Berger,
Yes.
Councilmember Lappin. Yes. And Councilmember Zucala.
Resolution 592 sets a public hearing for the WPCF multi-project bond, a resolution in the amount of $1.325 million for 3 projects, including the cryogenic oxygen plant replacement design, building and equipment infrastructure Phase 4, HVAC facility improvements Phase 5. I would motion to set the public hearing at this time for July 24th, 2023.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 593 is a sewer building improvements and demolition, to readopt the OCPH bond resolution in the amount of $185,000. And I would ask the board I would motion to set the public hearing for July 24th, 2023.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 594 is a fireworks permit for the Country Club of Buffalo. Motion to adopt the resolution, grant the permit.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 595 is a new firefighter for Maine Transit Fire Department. Motion to adopt the appointment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 596 is a new firefighter for East Amherst Fire Department. A motion to adopt the appointment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 597 is a radio repair and labor agreement. I'll motion to adopt the resolution.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 598, are budget transfers and amendments. I'll motion them as they appeared in our agenda and on the screen.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 599 is a reappointment of an outside auditor, contract extension CRS 4123. A motion to reappoint our outside auditor.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 600 is an award of bid 2023019 for bottled water, CRS 4138. A motion to adopt that resolution.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 601 is amendment to townwide sprinkler inspection and services, CRS 4151. A motion to adopt the amendment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 602 is an award of RFP 202208 Professional Construction Management Services, CRS 4163 to 4169.
Second.
Sorry, there was a motion, there's a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 603 is an award of mini bid for one Chevrolet Silverado 2500 and one Silverado 3500, CRS 4180 and 4181. A motion to adopt the resolution.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 604 is scarifying and cold milling, CRS 4093. A motion to adopt the resolution.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 605 is a police officer, police department, 18 positions. A motion to adopt the appointments.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 606 is a detective promotion inside the police department. A motion to adopt the resolution.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
607, Resolution 607 is a sexual harassment prevention policy and sexual harassment prevention training program. A motion to adopt the resolution for the
Second.
program. All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 608 is the Williamsville Central School District CRS number 3969 School District Student Resource Officer Program, or SRO. A motion to adopt the resolution on the contract.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 609 is a police service dog release and waiver, CRS 4157 for our canine Harley to Richard S. Cato.
Second.
On the question, it's not every day that you lose a canine officer. Harley is retiring. So with that, there's a second. All in favor?
Aye.
And thank you to Harley for her service. Richard Cato is her current handler. So, Resolution 610 is police service dog and release waiver for our other canine officer, CRS 4174, our canine Droopy, also retiring, to Nicholas M. Scioli. Sorry, thank you. Ugh, easy for me to say today. And so with that, Is there a second?
Second.
We congratulate our K-9 Droopy, and it'll be, again, hard to replace these fine K-9s, but all in favor?
Aye.
And Resolution 611 is a request for disposal of obsolete police equipment, various radar units. I will motion to adopt the request.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 612 is a traveling and training request introduction for the fire investigation course. A motion to adopt that resolution.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Resolution 613 is a travel and training request, FBI LEADA Command Leadership Institute course. A motion to adopt the resolution.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 614 is a travel and training request for the Commercial Vehicle Inspector, Part A and B. A motion to adopt the resolution.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 615 is a contract agreement extension with Fluid Kinetics, CRS 4170. A motion to adopt the contract agreement extension.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 616 is a lift station communication hosting agreement extension for Colasino Industries Incorporated, CRS 4185. A motion to adopt the resolution.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 617 is a management agreement, CRS 4186. Motion to adopt the resolution.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 618 is an emergency purchase request number 1 of R22, which we're hoping to get out of soon. But for now, we have to use. So make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 619 was a second emergency purchase request for number 2 of R22. That's a refrigerant for our ice rinks. Motion to adopt that resolution.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're replacing the chiller that keeps leaking R22 with a CO2 compressed chiller soon. Resolution 620 is an emergency purchase for audio services. A motion to adopt that purchase.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Communication 81 is a request for a public hearing, 5226 and 5228 Main Street. Motion to grant the request.
Second.
All in favor?
Are you setting a particular date? or-
It says there,
Oh, it
Yes,
says it.
August
I forgot.
21st.
August 21. Communication 82 is a request for a public hearing on 1561-1703 Niagara Falls Boulevard. Again, recommend we reset that public hearing for August 21st.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Communication 83 is a request for public hearing on 1501 and 1551 Niagara Falls Boulevard. And I would, I will recommend we grant that for August 21st as well.
Second.
All in favor? Communication 84 is a notice of claim, Anne Marie Rader versus the Town of Amherst. I'm going to recommend we receive this, refer to the town attorney.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Communication 85 is a notice of claim for Lee Fang versus the Town of Amherst. I recommend we receive this and refer it to the town attorney as well.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Communication 86 is an amended notice of petition and verified petition in the matter of application of Fruhoff and Chateau homeowners for Clean Environment Incorporated et al. Versus Town of Amherst et al. I would recommend we receive this and refer to the town attorney.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we did receive some photos today. They will be shared with our building department and clocked in as communication on our next meeting. The next item on the agenda is a second round of public expression for anybody who has another item they would like to address. I'll motion to open public expression at this time.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Sam Smith, 60 Fruhoff Avenue. I had a question about the 522628 Main Street. I think that's what the address was. Is that the property behind Town Hall? I was trying to just look that up really quickly.
It's next to Wendy's,
Yeah,
the
it's
George's
next to
George's Market. It's
And
the
then-
old George's Market. It's close to Wendy's.
Okay, and then what is a GB zoning? I didn't have time to look it up quick enough.
General business.
Okay, and then the plan is to convert it to a TI4?
They're requesting a transition from general business to TI, whatever, yeah, TI4.
Okay. And then so this is a perfect example of like changing rezoning, and then when you guys discuss rezoning, and then when it goes through the planning department, how it gets communicated. So from a general business standpoint, what are the parameters for that? Like how high is the general business?
General business is 6 stories or 65
5 feet.
feet. TI4 is 4 stories.
I think CI4 is 62 feet or 42 feet, I believe.
I don't remember offhand.
And by the way, it goes to the planning board before it comes to the town board.
For the zoning.
Any rezoning requests.
Okay. Yeah, so that's just my experience from what I've experienced now is that when things get rezoned and then the general, so that's probably not going to directly affect me, but it's going to probably directly affect the general population somewhere else in Amherst.
Anybody within 600 feet is notified directly
So-
of the planning board and then the town board actions.
What I'm saying in regard to that is when communicating to them during rezoning and answering any people's questions, what we were told is that it will be handled on an individual basis within the planning board, but our experience was different than that, and I would just, because the planning board had told us something follows town code, so I would just say make sure when communicating to the general population, how that's communicated.
Okay.
Okay, thanks. And if you don't believe me, please go back and listen to the recordings. So I'm just saying, please communicate to the population.
Okay, anything else? If not, I'm going to motion to exit public expression.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I don't have any suspension.
There are no suspensions.
All right, with that, I'm going to motion to adjourn the board meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And hope to see people at Old Home